time for another edition of the Collector's Corner.
Aloha, and welcome to another edition of Collector's Corner. I am your host, the man with notorious questionable character, Aloha, Mr. Han, and of course, Collector's Corner is brought to you by our friends at the Sadistic Penguin Studios. So, it is Sunday night, December 8th. The Bears, unfortunately, bearsed today. That was a pitiful display, to say the least. But also, the Hall of Fame announced their Veterans Committee elections as well. So I have some memorabilia for that. But let me first start with what I picked up at the Rosemont show a couple of weeks ago. Haven't posted it yet because the holidays and everything else. But getting around to it now. So enjoy. Sit back, relax, and strap it down. So first, I wanted to start with one of the highest voted Hall of Famers of all time. I think he's like third or fourth on the list for most votes gathered. This is a ticket stub from Cal Rip. Oh, let me turn it the right way. From Cal Ripken Jr., signed by Cal Ripken Jr. The significance of this ticket stub is this is the day of his 3,000th hit. This is a ticket stub from his 3,000th hit game. So I got him to sign that and my Hall of Fame bat, which I'm not going to show because there's a lot of signatures on there and whatever. But also, one of the fun things that happened in Rosemont was I got the opportunity to meet Sam J. Jones. Now you may ask, who is Sam J. Jones? For those of you who don't know who Sam J. Jones is, he is also known as Flash Savior of the Universe. That's right, of course I'm talking about Flash Gordon. And I got this autographed football card from Flash Gordon, signed by him. As you can see, quarterback, New York Jets. Watch the movie and you'll understand the reference. I also did get a 8.5 by 11 movie poster signed by him that was personalized to me. And you probably saw the pictures I posted on Twitter that I took with him as well. But great guy, funny guy. Had to hear about how he went to Carmine's for dinner the night before with Mancow Muller. Yes, there's a name from the past. And Mancow was actually there talking to him when I was there. Not the biggest Mancow fan, so I really wasn't impressed. But next is a ticket stub from September 10th, 2006. What is the significance of this ticket stub? It is a game of the Chicago Bears go to visit the Green Bay Packers. Now, this, of course, is the beginning of the season where the Bears went to the Super Bowl and unfortunately lost. But this ticket stub is also autographed by Devin Hester because this was his NFL debut. I was actually at the game at Lambeau Field for his NFL debut. As you can see there. Funny story about it. Devin needed help with the spelling of debut. I am not joking when I say that. It was rather humorous. But moving on. So the next thing I got is there were Bulls players before Michael Jordan. This guy is a Hall of Famer. Was one of the Bulls all-stars, if you will, in his time. This is a card signed by Artist Gilmore. You can see there. Very nice man. Very talkative. Obviously, the Bulls were not the Bulls back when he played in the mid-late 70s. He started out with the Kentucky Colonels and wound up with the Bulls. But got that autograph by him. Like I said, a very nice man. Next is a couple of tickets from an old reliable one that I collect that I have a rather large ticket collection of because he accomplished a lot in the game. The first ticket is the 500th home run game from Reggie Jackson, signed by Reggie. It's a ticket stub from his 500th home run game. Got him to inscribe 500th home run on there. Then this next ticket stub is from Sunday, October 4th, I believe it is. Yeah, I'll go with that. This is Reggie Jackson's final game, which was played at Comiskey Park, by the way. He did play his final game at Comiskey Park. And I got him to, as you can see, I also got him to inscribe it final game. So, that was nice. Reggie was rather quiet. He did laugh when I told him that I had bought a box of Reggie candy bars. What can I say? I got a sweet tooth. But also, the next thing is a Hall of Fame program signed by Billy Williams. Let me see if I can get this where you can get the glare off of there. There we go. You can see Billy Williams signed by his picture right there. Catfish Hunter right there. Fortunately, obviously, Catfish is not going to be signing that anytime soon. Next was something I was really stoked to get. Something I wanted to do for a while, and I finally just bit the bullet and did it. I got my picture taken with the worm, Dennis Rodman, and then I got him to autograph it. That's right. Me and Dennis hanging out. Someone asked him how he liked being back in Chicago, and all he said was he loved Chicago, but he fell out of being used to the weather, man, and it was hurting him. Plus, I think, honestly, he went out the night before when I took that picture because he looked like he was hurting big time. Next that I got from the show is a Sports Illustrated that I found going through some stuff, doing some cleaning for unfortunate reasons a while back. And I decided to try and get it signed by both people on the cover. The first one was in Rosemont over the weekend, and that was Brian Bosworth. You could see there. Got the Bos to sign it, and he commented about how good a shape it was in, and I told him the circumstances behind it. Very nice guy. Very happy to be there. Very talkative, genial, you name it. Very nice guy. Looking forward to getting McMahon on there. I'm sure he'll be around at some point in the next year or so. So that leads us to today's announcement. I don't know if you just heard, but the Hall of Fame Veterans Committee, or ERAS Committee, whatever it's called now, has elected two people. The Cobra Dave Parker, who I don't have anything of. Now I need to go get him on my Hall of Fame bat. And also Dick Allen. Now, Dick Allen is a guy I have met numerous times, and the first time I should say the second time I met Dick Allen, I described my first meeting with him. Back in the day, this is the early mid-70s, mind you, at Old Comiskey Park, the White Sox used to have photo day, where you could go on the warning track dirt in the outfield. They would have it roped off. And I think they stopped doing this when they moved to the new park, because I remember doing it in 1990 in Old Comiskey Park, the final week of the season. I actually, don't tell anyone, but I actually ditched school for the day to go, ditched my college courses to go do it, to be on the field one last time at Old Comiskey Park. But they allowed you to be on the outfield warning track, had a rope across, and the players would come up and take pictures with you. As a young lad, 4 or 5 years old, I would say, was the first time I met Dick Allen. And Dick Allen, to a 5-year-old kid, was a very imposing figure. In the middle of the summer, wearing white or red wool long sleeve shirts with his jersey on, and just a very menacing stare. If you see pictures of what he looked like from the early 70s, he was sort of scary and intimidating looking. And I heard the stories from my parents back in the day talk about how I saw him and I burst in tears. Well, I had to tell him this the second time I met him, when I got this ball autographed by him. Dick Allen, 72 AL MVP. And don't sell yourself short on Dick Allen. Very impressive career. 64 NL Rookie of the Year, 72 AL MVP. A very, if you look at his numbers are impressive. Should have been in long ago. Same thing with Parker, in all honesty. And I'll say this too. I think Steve Garvey should be in too. That's just me, but I think Garvey deserves as well. But they got it right with those two. I still think Garvey belongs in as well. That's just my take. But I told him the story about me breaking into tears out of fear from him, and he started laughing and apologized. Now, one other thing, and I don't have it here, I have it in storage. I have the 72 Sports Illustrated cover where he's juggling the baseballs with a heater signed by him. I have already tweeted the Hall of Fame and said that cover should be part of his plaque because it is by far, the best Sports Illustrated cover ever. Period. End of story. That's it. It is. So, like I said, I got that ball. I also have a couple other items. I have the 75 Tops card signed by him. Back in the day, this is like, I want to say it's 2012. I'm guesstimating because the years go by faster as you get older. That him and Goose Gossage did a signing at the Chicago Sports Depot. And it was like only the first 25 people in line uh, got in to get autographs from them. So I got autographs from both of them at that time because I was tipped off that they were going to be there and they were doing that. So the line showed I would say I was about like 18th or 19th in line, and the line expanded soon after I got in line too because the word got out. But one of the items that I really love, unfortunately, I was unable to complete it because one person on here was deceased when I started it, is this 1992 Upper Deck Rangers Heroes versus White Sox Heroes. Upper Deck used to create these every year when they would have old timers games, things like that. And this was the handout they gave out on March 3rd, 1992. So I've been able to go and get Wilbur Wood right there, Melton, Dick Allen, and Carlos May. Unfortunately, Chuck Tanner I believe, was already deceased at the time, so it was impossible to get him. But I have all the others on here. And Wilbur Wood freaks me out a little bit because he signed in blue, everyone else in black. But what are you going to do? I obviously wasn't paying attention at that moment because I probably got Wood at Sox Fest, and I was probably a little bit drunk or hungover, I should say, just between you and me. Okay, but you can see here, you got Allen, you got Carlos May, you got Wilbur Wood, and you got Bill Melton. Sadly, and I'm going to wrap up with the next couple of items. Mr. Melton has left us. He was a terrific man who I had the good fortune to speak with on numerous occasions. Always a pleasant person, always very talkative, always had a good story to tell, and always had a retort to whatever you might say to him. I am not going to tell you this here, but if you want to know, come and ask me about what he told me I should say about my broken foot when he saw me walking around with that fancy designer boot on. He did tell me what I should tell people to make it sound more impressive. I'm not going to say it here, but I will tell you in person. Guaranteed to laugh. And there are witnesses to it, so this just isn't something I'm making up out of the blue. This is something he did tell me. And I believe, if I remember correctly, one of the witnesses to this was Harold Baines, as well as a couple other people. But ask me in person, and I will tell you what it is. But finally, the last two items I wanted to show were something special. Now, the first one is from 2012. It's a picture they took right before Sox Fest of Robin and Bill Melton, the third baseman. And this was, obviously to celebrate Robin being named manager of the team. And this was taken right before Sox Fest because they posted this, and I printed it out at the local Walgreens and took it with me to Sox Fest. And they were shocked at how fast it got out there. So, like I said, it's like the two of the best third basemen the White Sox have ever had. You could put Creedy in there too as well, but these are two of them of the best they've ever had. So always like this picture. But this next one is my absolute favorite. And the next one, before I show it, I'm going to tell the story. So more than a while ago, a long time ago, Chuck Garfien posted a picture of Bill Melton with a famous celebrity. And I saw the picture and I immediately, again, printed it out at the local Walgreens and took it with me to Sox Fest. And when Bill saw me with it, he laughed and he put and an inscription on there specifically to me about it and about the other story I asked him about, which was, did he in fact date Barbara Eden? For those of you who don't know who Barbara Eden is, she was Jeannie on the I Dream of Jeannie TV show. He said yes, he did, and he told me a little more detail, which I also will not go into here, but will tell you in person. But this is a picture of Bill Melton with, that's right, the chairman of the board, Mr. Frank Sinatra. There aren't many people bigger in history of the United States than Francis Albert Sinatra. Elvis, you're talking on the Elvis level. It's Frank fucking Sinatra. He's the chairman of the board. You have to be impressed. Sorry, you do. Like him, don't like him, it doesn't matter. He partied with Frank Sinatra. I mean, come on. That's just about every person's fantasy to party with Frank Sinatra. At least it's mine. I would love to have partied with him. I would have had a great old time too. I would have tried to keep up with him drinking Jack Daniels, and some people know I drank my fair share in my day. So I had to show that. R.I.P. Bill, you will be missed. You were a great guy. You were always friendly to me, and I truly appreciate it. Rest in power, my friend. You deserve it. And with that, I am out of here. Later.